Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Antique and Garden Showcase. I'm Mark, glad to have you here. I'm sitting outside the retail space today, getting ready to take a few things in that I found when I was over in Lexington yesterday for a doctor's appointment. I always take every opportunity to kind of look at shops whenever I'm close by something, and found a couple of pieces, Pyrex bowl and a really pretty piece of carnival glass and another piece of pottery to put in there. So I'm going to add those to the shop this morning. I may take you on a little quick tour of that, and then we'll see what else we get into today. I'm kind of thinking pumpkin patch today. Something I just want to go get some butternut squash and maybe a small pie pumpkin to process to have for the wintertime. We don't usually keep a whole lot around, but maybe a butternut squash soup or something like that would be really good right now. The weather's getting cold this weekend, so kind of leaning towards those fall type things. So let's see what we can get into today. So I got a little busy in the booth today marking things down. I really needed to get rid of some things, so I took some time in there to mark a lot of things down instead of video while I was in there. So now I'm headed off to the pumpkin patch. I want to look for some butternut squash and those small pie pumpkins, maybe get a couple of each, and just see what else they have up there. So I'll see you at Baldwin Farms here in Richmond, Kentucky. All right, so we are headed to the pumpkin patch. We're going to turn left here. You can see the big spider there on the side of the road. That's to Baldwin Farm. So we're going to follow the spider, see where he takes us to. So this could be a little bumpy, so I'll wait till we get down here and I'll continue on with this video. So just down here on the left is Baldwin Farm. We're going to make this turn, and then it's going to take us up into the farm, which is way on top of the hill. So it's a really pretty drive, and hope you kind of enjoy seeing the scenery as we go up through here. There's the big sign, pumpkins, Kentucky proud. Neat. All right, so we have to cross a little bridge here. Please don't block the bridge, okay? Don't plan on it. All right, right turn, we're gonna follow the spider. There's another big spider. And we're headed up the hill. Now this can be a little tricky. There are places to pull off, and there's inward and outward traffic, so that's where it gets a little weird. Sometimes they have people directing traffic on the weekends, but this is Friday afternoon. Apparently there's nobody today, so if we meet anybody, we're gonna have to pull over. This video may end abruptly, but we're gonna see how we do. It's kind of neat. Little signs on the side, cider. And here we have the ghost crossing, and a little ghost. They kind of have it all decked out up in here. The owl house. And the chipmunk crossing. It's kind of neat. They go out all out for fall. They go all out for Christmas. They go really all out for farmers market. They sell balled and burlap trees as well as cut Christmas trees up here. So you'll see a lot of evergreens, like up on this hillside. There's a lot of Christmas trees and things. Sorry, I flipped this camera around abruptly. Here's a car. We're gonna pull over and let them by. So we'll let these people by, and then we'll head on up the hill here. There's another little sign, the turkey crossing. And they usually donate a large Christmas tree to our county courthouse every year. So look at these big, huge trees here. I wonder if one of those will go. Well, they've got strings up there to it. Kind of neat. The big blue, or the big Norway spruce that's at the end of the driveway island, it actually came from up here. I had 3 down through there. The other 2, one didn't make it. The other one was growing crooked and it was leaning towards the driveway, so I took it out. But really, I had good luck with 2 out of 3 that I had balled and burlapped up here. So pretty good odds. And we're just about to the top of the hill. Oh, look at the pumpkins over there in the pumpkin patch. This poor guy didn't make it through the hay bale, the baling this year. It was a rough year on him. And as we get on up here, we see that they have places marked off to park. Places you shouldn't park, like in the driveway. And welcome to the pumpkin patch. So we are going to go up here a little farther back. That's handicap parking, and see what we can find. Oh, there's more parking right here in front of this barn, so I think I'm going to park right here. It says I can park here anyway, or maybe I should park on around, but anyway, this is where Mark is going to park. All right, see you over in the patch. It has been about 2 years, I guess, since I've been up here, and I thought, well, this would be a nice little treat today to go see what they have available. A lot of times they have really good butternut squash and some things, but you usually start right down here. You can see there's some little wagons down there. That's a good place to start. And they also have a little farm market down there as well. So we're gonna check out what they got at the farm market and then see if I can find my butternut squash. I know they got pie pumpkins. I saw a ton of those back there. So inside the market, they have all kinds of things like honeys and jams and salsas, and even some Evans Orchard apple cider donuts. Oh, those look good. Cider by the gallon, and a few other things. Some really strange looking gourds. They got the really warty looking ones. Looks like they had mums on this wagon, but they don't anymore. Let's see what they've got up here. Here are the pie pumpkins. I still don't see butternut squash. Oh, I hope I can find. I know I can find a pie pumpkin. Okay, that's a given. That's going to be an easy task. Here are some other pretty small ones. Ooh, a neat color. Oh wow! Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I don't think I've ever seen any of that color. They kind of got variations. Kind of a neat look. Here are some mixed things in here. Mixed gourds and pumpkins. They even have a little train for kids' rides and a little petting zoo over on the other side, which is really neat. We have some little friends over here and then under the shelter with the little goats. I guess they're going for goats on a roof type theme there, but they're not being too productive today. They must be tired. Alright, so they told me it's getting really windy up here, but they told me that the butternut squash were picked and put out this morning and that somebody has bought them all, but there's a good chance there might be more in this field behind the barn. So I'm out here on a search for my own butternut squash now, which is kind of fun in its own way, I guess. But I'm looking and looking and looking. It's got a lot of pumpkins pulled here. And this will... I didn't really come dressed for this today. Oh, there's one. A lot of bugs on it, but they're just those normal little yucky bugs of the season. But that looks like one I could use to make my squash soup out of here, because it's ripe and it's not Alright, so there's a contender. I'm going to hang on to it because these things are apparently like gold this year. They said that one person bought every one they had earlier, so I don't know. We'll see if there's more out here. Yuck. The worst thing in the world are these nasty squash bugs, and you know, a big patch like this is full of them. Absolutely packed. All right, I'm gonna turn the camera off and then I'll show you some more in a minute. And if you look, the proximity from here to where I live, where the house is at, is straight back through here. There's a barn on the hill you'll see there. That's actually right in behind the house. But it's a little bit of a distance. And a lot of times I can hear the kids playing in the fields over here. I can hear the roosters crowing from this farm in the morning. And it's really a neat place. And then they've just got hillsides and hillsides of pumpkins and things to choose from. And after scavenging the fields, I found a couple of butternut squash just like what I was looking for. Apparently these are a hot commodity this year. They even have a Jersey cow here. She's really pretty. Look at her pretty face. You're a good Jersey cow, aren't you? Look at you. Look at you. You're just a big old pet, aren't you? Big old pet. Yeah. Alright, so my mission here was truly culinary. I wanted butternut squash. I had to go out in the field and look for them, and I got a pie pumpkin for later. So these are really neat. I think these will work perfect. I should have caught that conversation on camera, but when I first went in, there were no butternut squash, and I asked the lady, I'm like, where are the butternut squash at this year? She's like, well, I put a whole pile of them up there. I'm like, well, I just looked, and there's none there. She's like, there was one woman looking, and she goes, I bet she bought every one of them. I'm like, really? Like, are there more in the field? She's like, yeah, there's some in the field somewhere. She goes, go look behind the barn. So when I went behind the barn, I was like roaming that field, which you saw on the camera, looking for them, and finally found two when I was down there. So I was just loading up the car, and she comes running across the field. She's like, I found another one. I found another one. I'm like, well, I just checked out. She goes, here, stick it in your car. She goes, these are hard to find. So anyway, it was really funny, really comical. But hope you enjoyed this little trip to the pumpkin patch today. I am going to try to get off this hilltop safely, and I will see you in the next one. So have a great weekend, and have a good week. Bye.